Hello everybody and welcome to the video. Now for those of you who may be unfamiliar with this channel, unfamiliar with what's going on here, essentially once a month over on twitch.tv/RepublicaPlay, I host multiplayer Stellaris games every month. Typically we do them over 3 days and it's usually a 4-hour session per day, and it's typically over a weekend if we can do that. Now if you want to sign up to that, you can join our Discord, and if you're a Twitch subscriber or a patron of my channels, then you get priority access. There's usually 1 or 2 free slots though. There is heavy competition for those, and they typically go to people who are active in our Discord. So if you just jump in our Discord once, try to sign up, you probably won't get in. Just letting you know. Anyway, that's how you can join. Now typically when we do these games, we have about 12, 13 or 14 empires kind of battling out in a small galaxy PvP style, kind of getting rid of the AI problem, and we don't want people to be manipulating AI, and there's usually no crisis either. The games are usually over in 12 hours before any crisis tends to kick in. These games themselves have been awesome, but this time I decided to do something a little bit different. I decided to sit back and be an observer. Of course, now in the game, in Stellaris, you can be an observer. You get a lovely list of all the empires, and you get to kind of see everything at a glance, or take the perspective of an empire and see what they see. It's actually really interesting way to kind of view the game and see how a galaxy kind of evolves. So, being an observer and not being in the game this time, I was free to kind of look at what other people are doing, interact with the chat more, but I kind of felt like maybe something else was needed. So I added pre-scripted empires that I made with their own unique kind of playstyles chosen by me to be kind of have good interplay with each other, and then we also gave them unique setups. So some galaxy or some species start with multiple planets, some start with hard starts, easy starts, things like that. So I intentionally sort of unbalanced the game because we typically have really good players and then some not so good players. So I wanted to kind of, you know, spread them out based on their skill level a little bit. Further to that, we also gave them unique objectives that the others didn't know. So these none of the people who signed up actually knew what their empire was going to be until the day they got it. And then even further to that, they didn't know what their objectives would be. So you don't have to do your objectives. We basically give you 7 objectives each day. Like I said, there's 3 days, and they change each day. And if you don't do them, that's fine. It doesn't really bother anything. But if you do, you get really big rewards such as like 5,000 alloys or a bunch of influence or an ascension perk or something like that. So it really does propel you and advance you in the game if you can try to do some of your objectives. So I wanted to kind of talk you through this, the reason being because this game went extremely well. I'm obviously talking after the fact that this game has happened. Honestly, I'm not just saying it because I was hosting it or running it or whatever. It went better than I could have ever hoped for. And in fact, I'm actually worried it might not go as well next time we do it because it was almost perfect. It just went so great. We had big wars, no real one big dominant player. We had big wars between loads of different players, smaller guys beating out big guys, and cooperation and trade and people doing objectives. It really went very well. And people were role-playing their empires as well, which is really nice to see. But a problem we did have was 2 hours in, we had a big crash. Actually, about 1 hour in, we had a big crash, and it took us an hour to figure out what was going wrong with it. And we rolled back the patch that actually deployed that day and fixed it. So everything was fixed, but we essentially lost 2 hours of gameplay. So it's worth noting that that first hour, I did a lot of explaining on what empire is what their unique traits are, and all their starting positions and stuff like that. But that was all kind of lost. So that's why I'm here babbling on, because I want to actually talk you through some of these empires, let you get to know them, and then when I progress into the gameplay, you'll then get to see, you'll know who the Exchange are, or you'll know who the Norilga Swarm is. You'll kind of understand a little bit better. So if you stick with me and want to listen to kind of the backstories of these empires and a little bit of their unique positions, their objectives and traits, you'll get a lot more out of the series as it goes on. And I say series because I think I'm probably going to split this into 2 or 3 videos. I'll try to get them out as quick as possible. Essentially, we used to just do one big video, which was great, but once it was from my perspective, that was easier to do. Now that I have everyone's perspectives, there's way more interesting stuff to cover, and I just don't feel like cutting out people's wars completely, whereas last time I might not have even seen a war. So the videos are just going to have to go on a lot longer. So let me know what you think of the format. Let me know what you think of this type of game. There is also a trailer for this. If you want to see a quick kind of trailer, that is going to be linked in the description. I uploaded a video of that to kind of give you an idea of a setup of the galaxy as well. But let's begin. Let's just get into it. So I'm still in observer mode. This is day 1 of the galaxy, by the way, of where the save would have started. We start 10 months in, because that's how I kind of created the save file. I had to move some stuff around. Some stuff just naturally takes a few days to advance. However, I would have turned off the AI when I did that, so it didn't affect anything other than what I wanted to be affected. So it's pretty cool. But like I said, this is the observer mode. I won't spend too much time on it. Let's check take a look at some of the most interesting empires. And maybe I'll leave some of the other ones to just be kind of just, filled out in the video itself. So the first one I want to describe and show you guys is the Quenti League. So this is the Quenti League. They start on the east side of the galaxy, east of the kind of core. They start with a wormhole, and that wormhole leads to the Quenti Alliance. Okay? Now the interesting thing with these two empires is that they actually are belonging to the same race. They have the same race. And they've got a unique backstory that will describe this, which I'll just open up now. Boom. So that is the Quenti League. They start on Metro, an alpine world. They are an oligarchy, they have idealistic foundation and citizen service. They are egalitarian, militarist, and spiritualist. And as a race, they're intelligent, quick learners, and quarrelsome. Now they've got a bit of a backstory that I just want to kind of quickly read through, because it is actually important to kind of what's going on. So as a species, the Quenti possess extreme intelligence, which thrusted their species into the technological era before their society was ready for it. The period of rapid technological growth that occurred created vastly differing social classes across different nations of the planet before planetary unification could take place. This in turn created tension between major world powers vying for a unified form of government in order to dictate a government which all Quenti would live by. Technological arms race culminated in nuclear war, and on the verge of defeat, the League invested heavily in spacefaring technology, allowing them to open a wormhole to a distant star with a suitable planet for colonization. In their hasty escape, the technology for creating wormholes was lost, but using them was retained, should they wish to go back. Metro is now where the League resides, rebuilding under one unified government. So, I at least think that's kind of an interesting story. Like I said, they start with wormhole technology. They are free to go back through this wormhole, back to their original planet of Mitra. So the story is basically giant civil war, the same species has a big fight, this planet gets bombed out of existence and becomes a tomb world. This race then takes on the trait survivor so they can live on those worlds, and then this, I guess, the League escaped through this wormhole by creating the wormhole, escaping through it, and then colonizing a planet called Metro. Now these people have kind of the opposite objective. The Quenti League has to terraform Mitra into an alpine world and colonize it. So basically restore their original planet and colonize it. The other guy, if we just have a quick look at what the Alliance have. So this would be the Alliance. Again, almost the exact same government, although they are authoritarian instead of egalitarian. I guess that was the reason for the big fight. These guys have to destroy or change Metro into a tomb world. So they have the tomb world preference now in future, and I guess they just want to live on tomb worlds forever. Now the interesting thing, like I said, with some of these races and things, or with the objectives, is that they all have their own unique objectives. These guys need to build a starhold with 6 platforms, control Safiban and Rimok, destroy the aliens in a certain location. And you can see they get loads of different things that they do this. Each player was given this kind of picture, and they'll be given different pictures every day to kind of see what else they need to do. So you can get really big things. Like if you control Saiban and Rimok, you get 15,000 alloys as this player. Now they don't know where that is when they start off. We know where it is. So if we were to go like this, and we just looked at Rimok. So if they were able to kind of get to this area quickly, 1, 2, 3, it's not a big jump. The other one was Saivan, which is there. So basically just take those two and you're good. You're good to go. You'll get, what was it, 15,000 alloys? That's quite a lot. Now, spoiler alert, they actually didn't do it. You'd think it would be quite easy, but with other empires expanding around you, wars happening, you don't necessarily get to do everything you want to do. And if you lose territory especially. So I was able to kind of sit back as the kind of creator of this galaxy and kind of dictate where people go. I'm going to read maybe 2 or 3 other empires that'll hopefully be a little interesting for you as well. The other one is the Void Guardians. So if we just check them out in this list, boom.
Situation log updated.
Already a bit different from your regular Stellaris start. They start with 2 systems, and they both start on black holes. And there's Arctic worlds around these black holes that they live on. And this is basically their species. So again, I'll try to open this up in the objective panel so you can have a quick look at them. The Void Guardians are the ones I'm looking for. There we go. It can just take me a second to find the right file sometimes. Sorry about that. But there you go. So this would be the Void Guardians, for instance. So these guys, essentially, let's have a little read of these. There we go. So the Void Guardians are a mysterious ancient race that have existed for hundreds of millennia throughout the galaxy. By maintaining close proximity to dense gravity wells, their civilization has experienced more time relative to the rest of the galaxy, and thus has advanced far beyond most other species technologically. It is believed that the Void Guardians have previously made contact with distant galaxies through the wormholes, and through better understanding, intergalactic travel may be possible. And then their goal, their main objective, will be to colonize all planets with black holes. Then they need to control certain other black holes that are around the place, and doing this, these kind of things give them ascension perks, energy, alloys, food, and all of that. And their functional architecture, they're imperial, they're non-adaptive. They don't like moving around too much, which is good for them, because pretty much all black holes only have places where they would want to live. They are fanatic xenophobes, so they really don't want anyone else to be dealing with them. They're authoritarian. So, you know, you want to kind of steer clear of these guys and let them just do their thing. And if you're in their way and you take black holes, they might not like you very much. So I thought that was a little bit of a unique kind of start as well. They start with an L gate, you know, this kind of weird and advanced technology. They also start with 2 wormholes, and they do also start with wormhole technology, which leads them through, with the first wormhole already showing them where it'll lead. The other one leads down here. So they start with wormhole technology and all that as well. I think they're the only 2 empires that actually start with that kind of stuff. Now, the last couple I want to mention is this one. These 2 nations over here are kind of interesting as well. We have the Khandian refugees and the Norilga swarm. Long story short, the Khandian refugees used to live on the planet Khandia, which is belonging to the Norilga swarm. So the story goes that they are on this planet. The Norilga swarm emerged out of the oceans, because it's an ocean world, as a hive mind, basically destroyed the Khandians, and they fled the planet, escaping to another planet called Bastion, which they named Bastion. Now, these guys are kind of scientific. I think we need to actually play as them to kind of take a look at them.
Situation log updated.
So yeah, these are the Khandian refugees. They are egalitarian, xenophobic. You'd understand that after them getting turfed out by the hive mind. Materialist, technocracy, and idealistic foundation. Doesn't really matter what the species has. I think they're intelligent though, so that helps their research as well. But yeah, so the story goes that they have to basically, they've escaped not too far away. Maybe I should have actually had the swarm discovered for them. That might have made a bit more sense, because they know where they've come from. And the goal of these guys is to kind of survive the swarm, and the goal of the swarm is to kill the Khandians. And the swarm starts with a considerable advantage. They start with a planet already discovered and surveyed, and they start with another system already surveyed and colonized and occupied. So they start a little bit ahead. So this is kind of the idea was, well, I'm going to give this to a player who's really good, and this to a player who's maybe not so good, and see how that kind of plays out. I think that's pretty much all I really want to talk about before we just kind of get into it. The other noteworthy empires would be the Protectors of Nar up here. They're kind of a life-seeded sort of gecko-type looking species. So that would be them there. They're life-seeded, they're spiritual, peaceful, xenophobic as well. The other interesting one would be the Consciousness. This was the machine empire that was actually causing the crashes, but we ended up fixing it. Consciousness would be a machine intelligence built on war, basically, so you got to watch out for them. I don't think... Well, let's just take a look really quickly. So they're Gestalt Consciousness, machine intelligence, zero-waste protocols, and warbots. So they're kind of an aggressive sort of species, and they've got their own traits to do crazy things as well with that. I think they want to kill 2 empires. And you may have noticed as well with the other one we looked at, the Void Guardians, the first objective is the only objective that never changes across the 3 days, and that gives you direct score. Another new thing recently added, I think with 2.2, was the score in games. So if you go to your situation log and you go to victory, your score will be on the top. And as you discover the other empires, this then fills out. And the score is never dictated by military power. It's always dictated by everything else. Economic, technology, number of systems, pops, etc. And who you own as a vassal or a federation or whatever. So it's pretty interesting, because if you're 1,500 points, if you complete your main objective, would bump your score up above other players. And it did, as we will see at the end. So that's pretty much it. I think I've babbled on long enough. We've seen most of the kind of coolest empires. There's other ones out here. The Divine Mandate, they are a spiritual empire. We've got the Selenandra Alliance, which are a warlike, kind of Groot-looking empire. We have, let's see, the Exchange.
Situation log updated.
The Exchange is a corporate empire. They start with 3 planets, all kind of trading and stuff. They start in pretty good conditions, although they start with an empty they start with empty resources and a deficit of energy, so they kind of have to sort themselves out, which doesn't take too long really. It gives them something to kind of keep busy with, whereas most other empires start with a decent amount of resources to get them going. So that's all by design and by intention and stuff like that. We have the Free People of Mother, I think was the only other one we didn't look at.
Situation log.
And they're essentially a peaceful, fun-loving race that just want to invite everybody there. They're extreme fanatic xenophiles, which means they want to have lots of people come to them. They're spiritualists, and their goal, I think, was to create a resort world and eventually to have xenocompatibility as well. So pretty cool. Oh, and the last one is the Workers' Republic. Basically, you're dealing with your classic communists here. So you have your shared burdens. They start in a post-apocalyptic start, and they are also spiritualists and fanatic egalitarian. Now, they started pretty far away from all other empires. They kind of start off on their own down in the bottom right here. A lot of empty space around here for these two empires to expand to, and that's basically because I felt like these two empires were going to be played by people that maybe weren't very good and would need the room to expand. There was originally an empire down here, but we were kind of a player short, so I had to get rid of it. Alright, so that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, like I said, please do leave me some feedback. I'll be probably at the end to kind of give you a little outro. And yeah. Oh, and by the way, last thing as well, it gets way better as it goes on. So this would probably be actually the weakest video, which is kind of annoying. But day 2 and day 3 especially was really, really good. I'll actually just show you, hopefully now while I'm talking on screen, why day 3 was good. We had this cool kind of announcements thing down in the bottom left of the screen here, where other empires were that's where the other empires would talk publicly. It's almost like the public Twitter feed of the empires, kind of giving the announcements and their thoughts on what's going on. It was awesome when we got that in. Before we got that in, I was just off reading it to the side and kind of talking about it, but I would often miss it, so I ended up putting it on the screen for everybody, which ended up being way better. So again, the game kind of evolved as we learned how to kind of handle the observer mode, and as we learned the best way to communicate with other players. Alright, I think I've gone on for long enough. Let me know what you think of the video. Please do support this kind of thing if you like it, either on Patreon or Twitch. It really helps me motivate me to do more, and I might even end up doing multiple a week or multiple per month if it goes well. And these are things I'd like to do for maybe Imperator Rome as well. Maybe do kind of objective-based games and multiplayer games in specific theaters, like an all-Greece kind of war would be pretty cool as well. So thumbs up for multiplayer games in Paradox titles. Citizens of the Free People of Mother are experiencing a weird sensation of deja vu. That's funny. Okay, well, it looks like Frandoka is just doing the exact same thing he did before. He's built up his fleet to 800 strength. The Norilga Swarm has not. He's got 400. He's got a little bit more now, though, than he had before. We'll have to see how this goes for him. Let me get rid of those objectives. So again, this is the Kundian refugees that have fled away from their homeland, fled from the Norilga Swarm, and they're heading there now. And we're looking at it from the perspective of the Norilga Swarm. I don't believe you can edit the race midstream or mid-game.
Station under
Check out
attack.
the micro. Oh my god. So there's a station of 500, and then a regular military fleet battle. Apparently the Norilgas are going to win this, according to this. Doesn't seem like it though. Looks like their fleet's going to go down, and then he'll just whittle away at their starbase. Frandoka is reinforcing as he fights. Wasn't good enough. Sorry, Cobain. I think I gave you a start that might have been just way too difficult. Consciousness will soon embrace its first source outside of source. Let's check out the consciousness. They do have a task, by the way, which is to research robomodding almost as soon as possible. Maybe I should just give them the tech straight away. So they've got a colony ship. They're on their way. On the way to break the game. Alright, so that's how that's going up there. Anything else? It looks like the Void Guardians largely doing what they did before, basically just playing out how it was. Interestingly, Dan Suso's Republic of Arius are expanding a different way than they did the first time. So he's taking his black holes. Obviously, the Void Guardians have their objective to take black holes, and to take very specific ones, and to own rare crystals, I believe. So it looks like he's doing it all in one fell swoop. I wonder, has he blocked the Divine? No, he hasn't. He has open borders, so he's allowing other people to go through if he wants. That's nice. Is this a live game, or how does it work? Yeah, this is a live game. There's 12 players playing it right now. They had never seen these empires before. They didn't know where they'd be. And that's basically it. I'm just an observer in the galaxy, so I'm just spectating what's going on. Unfortunately, we played for an hour and we had a crash. So we started again. So it's nothing too crazy right now. We're kind of very familiar with a lot of this stuff already. However, as they kind of get a bit closer to each other now, we'll start kind of getting back to where we were. We're almost back to where we were before already. Frandoka is bombing the Norilga Swarm as he did before. Then Protectors of Nar. Wow, they have expanded very fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 systems in 8 years. Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's check them out, see how they're doing. And then as well, I want to check their objectives specifically, which would be these. So destroy a threat to the galaxy, build 5 strongholds, form a defensive pact or a federation, fight and win a war, get 5,000 alloy.
Special project complete.
I always read the results by accident. Control a system with a gateway in it. Do they do that yet? They do. Fight and find and colonize another Gaia world. There's one over here. They found a Gaia world. They haven't colonized it yet. Control a deposit of dark matter. Do we know where there's dark matter right down here? So they've kind of boxed it off. So they might be the ones to do that. That's a very valuable system. If there's ever a system to crash the game, it would be that one, because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in there.
Situation log.
But he can't go in yet. He has to fight a stack of 4K before he can go in. And then what else does he have? He has controlled a deposit of rare crystals. Has he done that? Doesn't look like he's done that yet either. Oh, he has. Just doesn't own it yet. Kind of a noob question. Will the Void Guardians get a big bump in research controlling all of the black holes? It depends. So we could check their objectives and then also check what the actual black holes have. So if we check the ladder first, the Void Guardians objectives, these are the Void Guardians objectives. So some of these black holes have physics research. So obviously owning them will be pretty good. They'll get some bonus to research. If we check them from their perspective, actually, we can see how strong their tech level is. So the Void Guardians, they are coming second right now. Their technology level is 456. If we were to maybe look at the situation log and look at victory, I'm guessing they have the strongest tech level. They do. They don't. Not yet. They're up there, but they're not at the top for tech. So maybe eventually, but right now, no. And then their objectives, if they did take certain systems, control less than 10 systems. So if they don't control too many systems, they own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If they don't have to, but if they control less than 10, they'll be given a big boost to physics, engineering, and society. They'll be given 5,000. That's a lot. So they'll be rewarded for just choosing systems that have black holes, but they've still gone with these ones. So he's already got 4 colonies? That can't be right. Oh, he's got 2. He's colonizing his 3rd and 4th. So he has his home. Then he's also got 1 to the right. Now he's getting Philomer 3 and Yotla. If we were to look at his objectives for the Machine Empire, these are his objectives. So his objectives are basically to colonize 10 worlds. So that's why he is on that rapid colonization, as well as he probably should be anyway. Control 25 systems, control Brune Singularity. Don't think he's going to do that. Looks like the Protectors of Nar have got it. Everything still seems to be playing out the same. Yeah, largely. We have a look down here and see how... yeah, the Norilga Swarm, man, they got screwed again. Although it's a little bit different. This time Frandoka took out the northern system first, and he actually bombed it out of existence. I totally missed that. Frandoka said, the Swarm will defend its stolen home with everything it got. Oh, I see, I see. He's saying that the swarm is trying to defend its home settlement with everything it has. It's only going to defend delay the inevitable. They are being bombed. Bombed. Whoops. They are being bombed. And some might say bummed. So the Kundia refugees, Kundian refugees are bombing Kundia in the hopes that they can, I'm guessing, take it back. Okay, so that's the situation at the moment. So Galaxy has played out pretty much the same as it did before, which in a way, it's kind of nice, right? We're almost picking up where we left off. The only major differences I can think of, in fact, I can't even think of major differences. It's just there hasn't been too many wars. Other people were throwing wars left, right, and center, but not really getting anything from them, just feeling each other out, I guess. This time, we're not really seeing that. The Selenandra Alliance have expanded south. Oh, you know what? It'd be interesting to check their objectives, because they have something kind of interesting, I think. So, the Selenandra Alliance. Their objectives. So, this nation here, this warrior-like nation. So their nation, or one of their interesting ones was to destroy the aliens at Bertios. So let's find where Bertios is. So here. So that's pretty close by. So they're well within being able to do that. They need 3,000 manpower to do it, or fleet power to do it. The other one was to, I believe, control a system pretty close by. Control Veldun and Python. So let's see where Veldun is. They didn't do it. They didn't get down there quick enough. They could have, but they didn't. And then where's the other one? Not that it matters, but Python. I mean, they could still do it. If they waged a war and took that system, they could still do it. Python is up there. They won't get anything for just owning Python, but if they own both Python and Veldun, they get 5,000 alloys and 2,500 energy. Main score is better. Yeah, I mean, getting the main score will mean that you will advance yourself at the end of the game. So if I was just to look at the situation log, and we look here, victory, this is the score. Now, completing your main objective gives you 1,500 score. It's not, like right now, that would be a lot, obviously, to have that and put you well ahead of the game. But at the end, it's not a huge deciding factor, but if two nations are pretty close, and one maybe didn't do their objective and one did, that'll definitely set them apart. I think 1,500 is a pretty good number. We'll see how it goes though. All right, let's go manage out. So we are playing on fast, but we are having Cobain is kind of lagging a bit, and so is Talkmaster GIP. Cobain's probably gonna die, in fairness, any minute now. The Kundian refugees have a fleet strength of 1,200.
Situation log updated.
Poor Cobainifar. He had twice the amount of pops almost. But I guess Frandoka just picked the crap out of him. I don't really know how he did it. Maybe it wasn't as one-sided as I had thought. But I had thought without with so few pops, less systems, and less resources, you wouldn't be able to beat him. But I guess not. Feel bad making him play it and lose twice. Okay, so we've actually just had like a few more viewers trickle on in, so we'll just re-explain what's going on with this game. So if you need a little bit of relatability and stuff, but we've also got lists of objectives for different empires to complete. So, for instance, let's just have a look down here. We can have a look at the workers of Arius. These are the guys down to our south. They've got a list of objectives, and they've got a backstory and stuff. So if we were just looking at their objectives, and then we can see what they do. And then at the end of this stream, I'll be giving these guys, I'll be going through the save and giving them all their like benefits and rewards for what they've done and completed. And we're tracking them as they go and seeing who goes to war with each other and checking all stuff out like that. So it's a narrative-driven Stellaris Empire game. And so far, when it works, unfortunately for that crash, when it works, it's actually really, I think, really interesting to follow and see how players cope with the situations they've been given. They have a lot of negative traits. So if we were to look at their species, they are bulky, high maintenance, repurposed hardware, and custom mode. So pop assembly speed. So they have a lot of negative traits basically, and just like one positive trait, and then the one that's default, which is machine. And that's basically meant to kind of hinder machines, because machines are quite good a lot of the time. So at least they're off to a bit of a slower start, or they should be, and they are. They're actually almost coming last. The only person that is coming last right now is the Norilga Swarm, who has been contained by the Kundian remnants, played by Frandoka, and he is absolutely wrecking them, or Kundian refugees, I should say. So let's see. Refugees have found a new weapon against the swarm's hostile jelly spit. The consciousness will embrace that fateful fourth source on September 2214. So in pretty soon, we'll see if this game crashes. The Void Guardians reluctantly traded their minerals in return for protectors of Nar's food. Starvation problem solved. That's interesting. These guys, the Void, ran out of food and then contacted, I guess, the protectors of Nar for a little bit of food. And that has kept them going. They are losing food, though. Where are the protectors of Nar? They are here. Protectors of Nar are life-seeded. They haven't colonized the other world yet. They've got plenty of food, but not that much. But they are gaining, at least. Little shared burdens going on there. So what did I miss? So here's the galaxy as it stands right now. I'm not blocking it with anything. Nope. Seems good. It's actually almost September, so just bear with me. We're going to check on the consciousness and see if this crashes. Oh, I think he just got it. I think it's okay. Four colonies, no crash. Let's see if he can get 5. Okay, that's good news. The crash we previously had hasn't occurred. And we've reverted versions of the game, so maybe that's what's caused it. So I think we can pretty much safely say we are basically now caught up to where we were. This is kind of how we left it. He has colonized a little bit faster, but this is basically where we were when we kind of did the restart. And everyone pretty much followed the same path. So almost like nothing lost in a way. Just an hour of our time. I love the slave trade in 2.2. Have we any slaver empires? We actually don't, but some of these empires have missions or objectives that say you can get slaves and you can purchase slaves. Now, I'm just thinking of that. We have some authoritarians. Who are the ones that can do it? Oh, yeah. The Quenti Alliance. So I'm going to just put on some better music. The Quenti Alliance. So if we check these guys out really quickly, where are they? There they are. They're coming about 5th right now. And we can check their government. So they are post-apocalyptic. They're survivors because essentially there's another race which is the exact same species as them, but they live over here. They're called the Quenti League. And they are shared. They have a wormhole that connects to each other. Now the interesting thing is the Quenti League is now catching up with the Alliance in terms of power. They were way behind. The Quenti League have access to this wormhole and can come through it, whereas the Alliance don't. So these guys are vulnerable. And they have missions to fight each other. So they might end up doing that. And this guy has 1.2k fleet strength. This guy, if we were to check inside, he's built up his base a little bit, so he might be a little bit okay, but he's still, I would still be very worried about that. And I don't know if he knows that that wormhole is open to the enemy. But he should think about the fact there's a wormhole right next to him, and his story, that which he knows about, his story, described the fact that those guys warped out of a wormhole away. So gotta watch out for him. But anyway, like I said, they are spiritualist, militarist, authoritarian. So they can have slaves. I'm not sure, what do you need to be able to sell them? Do you have to be a megacorp empire? Because if you do, then I guess you can't sell them. But I feel like anybody can sell them if you can have slaves, right? I could be wrong with that. That's pretty cool. Hopefully it won't be very lopsided. Yeah, well, one of our kind of pre-scripted engagements is pretty lopsided. Let's have a look at it over here. So the story of these guys was there's a planet called Kundia, an ocean world, and the story goes that on this planet the Narilga swarm emerged. A hive mind emerged out of the oceans and attacked the species that was living there called the Cunum. So the Cunum fled and got away from Kundia, but now the player, Frandoka, under the Kundian refugees, which live somewhere else out in Bastion where they're holding out, have quickly, rapidly struck back and are looking to take back their home settlement. So I actually made it so that it would be really hard to do that. I thought so anyway. The Narilga swarm, the hive mind, should have had all the benefits. They had more systems when they started the game. What the hell is this? Oh, it's the Caravaneers.
Planetary invasion begun.
There we go. The end of the Narilga swarm. Well, GG. And he has just completed his objectives. His objectives for the entire game, which is pretty amazing. So rest in peace. Rest in peace, I I can't even remember his name. Cobain? Yeah, Cobain. Cobain Afar. That's it. The objectives were to destroy the Norilga swarm, cross it off the list. He's just done it in the first day. Well done, Frandoka. Survive the swarm. He's done that. He still needs to control 15 systems, find and control a wormhole, build a robot, control Bastion. He still controls Bastion. Make contact with the protectors of Nar and prevent Norilga expansion. So he has blitzed his objectives. Perhaps it was a bit lopsided. Apologies if it was. But hey, that's the story, right? So that's just how it went. GG, Frandoka wins. Now he doesn't win, but he has just basically completed his objectives, and he can now basically play a normal game of Stellaris for the rest. Now, the interesting thing with this is the objectives change tomorrow, right? So tomorrow, maybe we'll make a few objectives that say, hey, we're not liking how big the Gadian refugees are getting. We'll see how that goes. I think we'll have to try and figure out ways to slow them down. But that should be fun. See if he can deal with it. I don't want to make it overly, like, impossible. But man, he really... The reason I gave him that nation is because I thought that is such a hard nation to play. They're going to get wiped out first. And he just demolished the guy that, like, wiped him out. Even when we restarted, he still beat him. Pretty crazy. So, thanks for playing, Kobanafar. Sorry that you had to go through that. I'll make it up to you if you're here next month. I'll give you a really good start for sure. The Quenti have been attacked. There is another war on. Sorry, the Quenti have been attacked. Who are they at war with? The Quentian Federation War. The Quenti have gone to war with each other again. Civil war has erupted. Are they going to come through the wormhole? 1,600 fleet defense in there with Starbase. And these guys are getting ready to go through the wormhole. They have the advantage that they can go through but not get worried about being attacked on the other side. Let's see how this bounced out. Now, the Empire was... These are the League. The Empire, the guys they're fighting. The Empire was way stronger until right now. And now they're only kind of getting close to each other. The Empire started... The Alliance started with more... Sorry, the Alliance versus the League. The Alliance are red. These are blue. So the red guys had way more pops. And they had a stronger economy. But it looks like under the command of Salty Stormtrooper, he has been building up his fleet, and he intends to go through this wormhole and claim back his home settlement, which is Mitra. So the story of these two empires, for those who need a recap, is the two empires were born on Mitra. The League detonated a nuclear device that destroyed the entire planet, or loads of nuclear bombs, whatever. Destroyed most of the entire planet, turning it into a tomb world and rendering the species on that planet survivors. So these guys have the exact same species, but the only difference is these ones are survivors capable of living on tomb worlds, whereas these ones are not. They then inhabited a world called Mitra when they came through their own wormhole. They have the technology for wormholes because that's what they did, although they had a much harder struggle. It was like a few refugees that made it away. The result of a civil war where their governments differ. One is egalitarian, one is authoritarian. Everything else is the same. Kind of interesting. Yeah, we could have a look at what he's got in his starbase. So if we were playing as Eaton, it doesn't look like he's got the starbase snare stuff. So I don't know if that starbase is really going to be enough to hold. I mean, it probably is. 1,600 strength with it, and then 1,400 strength fleet coming through. If I was Eaton right now, I would immediately start building up my fleet. Like, you need to. Let's see what he's got. He's out of alloys. He's going to need to maybe do some trade. Maybe buy some on the market. The galactic market still hasn't been founded. We know that the exchange has a goal to found the galactic market. Whether it'll do that or not, we don't know. If we have a look at the exchange, let's see how many people they've discovered. 1, 2, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 out of 12. I think they need to discover 2 more players before they can get it. That should be an interesting war to watch. Let's turn on some war music. I'm interested to see what happens here. Let's check the declarations as well in Discord. The Quenti League have declared a crusade to retake our home planet. That's official word from the Quenti. The Quenti League are looking to retake their home planet. Go through the wormhole, which they created in order to escape. Ah, they've just got an FTL inhibitor built here. The Alliance. Deus Vult indeed. The exchange have found 6 empires? Oh, my bad. Well, then they only need to find 1 more and they can set up the galactic market, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, they've only found... Oh, yeah. I didn't see that one. Because the green border. Yep, you're right. 6. So they need 7, right? The majority of empires need to be discovered. I think. And then they get it. I'm pretty new, but I have no idea how to keep up with the alloys he was somehow getting. Honestly, Cobain, I apologize profusely that I think I really underestimated how bad his start was. I think his start wasn't as bad as I thought. And I don't think I gave you as much as I should have. So apologies for that. You did have the upper hand. I'm pretty confident of that. But you probably had to be almost as equal a good as player as him. And he's probably the best player in the game. Which is why I gave him that nation. I thought like, oh, he'll be at a disadvantage. But he knows starting that close to you, you're like a steamroll or a snowball. If left unchecked, you'll build up. So I think that's why he had to go for you first. It's all in the spirit of the narrative. I appreciate that. If you're around next month and you want to play again, I'll make sure you get treated nicely, okay? I hate to see it. The fact that it happened twice as well makes me feel bad for you. Just to go into your death twice. So yeah, I don't know. Franduk is a very good player. He did build up very quickly. He has a tech advantage, so that might be why. Pretty sure he was selling everything to buy allies. Yeah, I think so. He didn't care that he was at an energy deficit. He didn't care that he was a consumer deficit. His planet probably had crime on it and stuff. He didn't care. It was all about, I'm just going to build a fleet and kill you. So I think that's what you were dealing with, you know? Someone that was willing to allow themselves to go into a deficit elsewhere in order, because their fleet doesn't suffer anything, right? It's only their planets that do. But yeah, man, he's basically completed most of his objectives in one stream, so, and not even in the 4 hours. He did it in like 1 hour. So crazy. Free matter decompressor next time, yeah. It'd be cool if I could make one, but it was like busted or something. You have to just repair it once, or almost complete. That would be actually pretty interesting. It's almost complete. You get a little lucky with the techs you get. Getting coil gun techs back to back doesn't help, yeah. Oh well, it was fun to watch it happen. So I appreciate you being part of it. Okay, I'm getting excited again now. We're over the hump of that horrible crash. Hopefully there's going to be no more crash. It looks like it was a version issue. I guess the Void Guardians have more than 10 systems, right? Yeah, let's check on them. I love that you guys are remembering the objectives, by the way. Let's check on the Void. So, yeah, definitely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. But they are doing exactly what I hoped they would do and spreading really far apart. I'm surprised they have the influence to do it. But that's exactly how I wanted them to be, a spotty empire. So I'm loving that they're doing that correctly. So what we were talking about was their objectives. And the Void Empire, their need to build on black holes. So let's see. Let's just open up their full thing again. This is the Void Empire, the Void Guardians. Keep calling them Empire. They're imperial. They have functional architecture, corvée system, authoritarian, and fanatic xenophobe. They do not like other aliens and other species. Get the hell away from me. They have to colonize all planets with black holes, which is actually quite a lot of. Because I've added loads of colonies around black holes. Okay. Anyway, that's a nice little look on how they're doing. Let's check the declaration, see if anyone said anything that we need to follow up on. Ooh, the Workers' Republic of Arius have discovered the Quenti League. So this is, I think, the first time Dan has found someone else. And he's not coming last. And he's also discovered the Void Guardians. So this is Dan's perspective down here. The Workers' Republic. Communist. Basically. Come on, Dan. Click that engineering research option. Let's see how long it takes him to do it.
Science ship under attack.
Oh, he lost the science ship just now. Oh, he sent it out here. Too many enemies in there. The Void Guardians are still expanding. He still hasn't. There we go. He got it. He got it. Oh god. God bless him. What a guy. The exchange proudly announces the birth of the Galactic Market and the establishment, the Galactic Market Station near the Capital Trade Center. It's a beautiful thing. He managed to do it. Congratulations to Striker. He's still coming first in the game. And he has set up the Galactic Market. Sweet. So there's the Capital Trade Center. I'm not actually sure. Do you see a Galactic Market building? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I see it. Gotcha. There it is. He got it. All right, let's check on him and see what objectives he's got done. So, have the highest trade value income. That's his global. That's for the end game anyway. It's not going to trigger till the end. Build a resource silo on every star base. So, let's check his star bases. He's got one there. He's got one there. He's got one there. Man, I love it. I love that people are doing what I'm making them do. You know, it's cool. It's cool. A lot of influence. Found the Galactic Market. So, he's secured himself an Ascension perk for the next game. Control 5 deposits of rare crystals. Let's check that out. See if he's done that yet. So he's got 1. He doesn't have to have it built. He just has to control the systems, really. I think that's fair enough. So 1, 2. Just 2. There's 1 here and 1 there. 3, 4. So he could have 4. And then if he goes all the way up here... Oh, I think it's gone now, is it? Oh, we're in his perspective. That's why. Yeah, if he got that, he would get it. So if he played a little aggressive, he might get it. There is one down here as well. So he could still do it, depending how fast he expands. He doesn't know where they are, though, so it's kind of easy for me to say, oh, just go that way. But he doesn't know that. The Selenadra Alliance say, I am Groot. What is trade? Can you smash it? They could probably rename themselves and move their capital now if they wanted to really roleplay. They're not refugees no more. They've taken back their home planet. The Void Guardians misclicked when selecting an Ascension perk. Oh god. The Nar offer their condolences for that. That's good. Then the Quenti League demands the surrender of the Quintari Alliance or we will take every other system they own. Oh my god, I actually totally forgot to watch what happened here. So I totally forgot that war has been raging on while we've been looking around between the two Quenti players. So it looks like Salty Stormtrooper, aka Quenti League, did manage to come through the wormhole, somehow avoid or... Yeah, just managed... Yeah, how did he do that? What? How did he do that? He came through. Oh, damn, I really wish I didn't miss it. He came through, but there is an FTL inhibitor here. So he couldn't have left unless he took the base. But the base is full strength and still up to 2.4k. So I'm assuming he didn't. Wow, okay, so Quenti League say they demand the surrender of the Alliance. Or we will take every system they own. The Alliance says we will never surrender. There we go. But, well, however they did it, maybe he killed the station, left the system, and then the system was recaptured? Possibly so, and then rebuilt? I'm just surprised that it was even rebuilt. But I guess that must be what happened. It's a shame. I should have been paying attention. My bad. Either way, they've got it up to several defense. All 6. I mean, that's one of their goals, I think, is to upgrade that, which they have done, to a Starhold and have all the defense platforms they can maintain. And they've done it. They may have done it too late, though, because there is an enemy behind enemy lines, and they're bombarding their planets right now. This place only has 6 pops, and it's just been constantly bombarded. They are damaged. It looks like... Oh, look, they actually got given the Caravaneer cruiser from the Caravaneers that passed by a while ago. The League. So, I don't know. I'm just trying to think. Is there another way they could have got here? There is a lot of wormholes, and they do have wormhole tech. So, let's just have a look.
Hostile station engaged.
If we were to be these guys and check where they went... Doesn't look like they utilized any other... There is another wormhole here at Itza. That's how they did it. They went through Itza. They hopped along. Hopped all the way along and went up. So they didn't utilize their old wormhole. They went a different way. And that's why they've discovered all these systems. So they used their wormhole tech by finding another wormhole that actually just kind of conveniently led to a similar area. It led to here. Firam. Huh. Interesting. I nearly feel like leaving because of this. There are wormholes everywhere. He took another. That's the situation, Eaton. Defend. You knew they were coming. You actually had a better start than they did as well, by the way. Half hard start because you're a better player.
Landing.
He did get a free cruiser. I mean, there's nothing I could do about that. That just happens. There are wormholes everywhere. Oh god. That's just what happens sometimes. I mean, look, I would just stick with the game. If he's gonna wipe you out, he's gonna wipe you out. You could surrender, like you said, if you want to keep your game going, maybe. Although his goal is eventually to take your home system, so I would just ask that you don't quit. You just see it through. But it's okay if he takes all your systems, you're down to 1, then you're free to quit. If you are that pro, come and play. But yeah, I don't know. It's not a balanced game. It's not meant to be. Gotta make the best of your situation. It's like EU4, right? Just not balanced. It's not supposed to be. Some people have a hard start. The cruiser sucks, though, that he got a cruiser. Not a free cruiser. It costs 2,500 energy. That's true. He had the energy to do it. But he did also get lucky by it passing him. Ethan, by the way, the winner of our last game. Look at him now. Never forget the swarm. Yeah. It's just interesting. Yeah, I built a few nations to play a certain way. Like, I wanted the swarm to be dominant. And I wanted the alliance to be dominant. They had a better starting situation than the league, for sure. For sure. But they basically had to invest in defenses for that wormhole. Now, I didn't necessarily think that this player could come through another wormhole, or where they might do that. And they came through Itza and then worked their way up. But I mean, that's really hard to kind of compensate for. I mean, if Selenadra advanced north instead of south, that would have totally changed that. You couldn't have even done that. War declared. Who's declared war? The Void Guardians are commencing gunboat diplomacy. Holy shit, Void Guardians are now coming first. Wow. They've got 92 pops. Gee, holy crap. Pangolian Advisor is just blitzing. Who's he at war with? He's at war with the Divine Mandate. Oh my god. I wonder what they're fighting over. So he's moved a 600 fleet in here. I want to check his objectives real quick. Because I think his objective is to take this system. No, it's not. But keeping this system is the objective of the Divine Mandate. So the Divine Mandate are going to want to hold on to it.
War declared.
Another war. The Nar are becoming increasingly distressed with the war taking place so close by. Frandoka is now in a war. He's in a war with the Protectors of Nar. Oh my god. Let's have a look at what he's got. He's got 2,100 fleet strength. Protectors of Nar have 1,200. War has been declared on the Protectors because they do not know the way of science, according to the Kundian nation, which have now renamed themselves. And they just discovered they must have knew the Quenti League were there before. Let's turn on some war music. Okay, a lot of wars going on. Let's take a look at the diplomatic map mode. Then we'll click a different nation and see what's going on. So, Quenti League are going to probably win against the Alliance. United Kundian Nation are attacking the Protectors of Nar just because. Can we see what the war is for? I don't know if you can check that. I think if we click to play as one of them,
log updated.
And then we were to click like diplomacy, maybe that would tell us. We can see his war demands, which is to take the capital. At war. Does it tell me why? It doesn't seem to tell me why. Defensive war for the Nar. Yeah, I don't know what their war goals are. Oh, we can click. Sorry, we can click this. Kundian refugees. Nar war of aggression.
Hostile fleet engaged.
Oh shit! Battle's taking place. Protectors of Nar versus Kundian refugees, now named to the United Kundian Nation. Looks like they're getting the better of it. All Corvettes from classic Frandoka. His speed is uncanny. Protectors of Nar getting their ass kicked. I don't know why, but when I play with the robots from your game, my colonies start with only 1 pop with the perk. I need to build all my pop manually, and every time ship colonizes the planet, I get low stability warning. I don't know, I didn't do anything to them. Yeah, I don't know. Bug. Around what date will you do it next month? Haven't decided yet. I normally don't decide till the 1st of every month. Alright, Frandoka have done it. They've taken it on. Or they've taken the first system. It's not looking good for the Protectors of Nar. And then he could just let us know. And I'll tell them to do that in future. When you go to war, tell me why. And declare it. That's what the declarations room is for. So if I have a look at the declarations room, the Void Guardians regret their gunboat diplomacy. Experiment at talking with Xenos using guns is marked as a failure. We didn't get to see it, but it might be the case that the Void Guardians fleet has been wiped by... Yeah, as they kind of approached to go... Oh, we did see it. They approached to take Beta Corvi, and it did not work out well for them. We could now check how the Divine Mandate are responding to that. They haven't written a response. I would like to know what their response is. They've got a stronger fleet by a little bit. But they're pretty happy just keeping their little base secure. Interesting. I don't know why the Void decided to do that attack. They had no real need to. And by the way, I believe they forfeited... Oh no, I think they just can't have an alliance, not a war. Because obviously that'd be a bit unfair. Have no allies, defensive pacts, or non-aggression pact. Okay, yeah, they're still good. Am I missing it? Fran's war is just a war for the enemy's capital. How do you do that, though? I'm not familiar with that. What does it say? So did he just claim and just go to war? That's just what he did. He just claimed. And then it's just a war of conquest, I guess, yeah? Yeah, I guess so. I guess that makes sense. I don't know why I'm not thinking of the most obvious thing. I was thinking of doing a rule about that in our last game because... But I guess it's you do spend a lot of influence to do it. But it would be interesting if maybe you just couldn't... You can only claim subsequent systems, maybe in future. I don't want to see a player got knocked out. He does have 2 planets, though. He's not going to get knocked out. Domination was vassalization. But they changed that, yeah. It doesn't seem like that's in here at all anymore, right? It's not necessary to have any tradition to do vassalization. I think it just depends on your empire. Need to play this game more. Keep changing it. You can see it in the War tab. It's above the Achieve War Goal button. Oh, Conquer. Ah, gotcha. Thank you. Yeah, Frandoka just wrote as well, claims. War is waged to seize claimed enemy systems. And if we do our diplomatic map mode, we can see he has claimed 1 system. Uno systems. And from Fran's perspective, oh my god, Protectors of Nar might just do it. Fran is losing. Fran is getting absolutely embarrassed. The music has gone off. Even the band has left the building. There's too much shame. They can't play the music to this. Protectors of Nar have defended their home territory. Nobody saw it coming. And the music kicks back in. Man, get me on the front page of Twitch. ESL. Wow, didn't expect that. See you later, Frandoka. And he falls down the list to the middle of the table. He is rebuilding. Well done, Protectors of Nar. Who is playing Protectors of Nar again? I always get hyped when we see the usual suspects losing, I should say. Protectors of Nar is being played by TBN Boy. And War Exhaustion has hit an all-time high for the Quenti, which is going on right now. That Quenti Civil War, which is still going on. Eaton has not given up, but God bless him. He's not doing very good anymore either. He's bleeding consumer goods. He's bleeding energy. Holding in there, though. It's got one fleet and a defensive, what do you call it? A system with full-on defensive platforms. Now, if he survives, by the way, we've only got about 10 more minutes. If he, let's see what objectives he'll have accomplished and what he'll get for surviving. Survives at all. Destroy, or he's not going to do that. Research wormhole stabilization. Bet you wish you did that. Although I guess only having an hour, it's pretty rough because of that effect that the stream went down. Occupy 16 systems. Fight and win a war. You fought one anyway. Utopian living standards. You might as well just activate that. You might as well. Build a starhold. He's done that. He gets a unity tradition. Well, hey. Build noble estates in all of your worlds. Oh, and it says alloys for each stronghold. It should be alloys for each noble estate. My bad. Control the Vermol system. Or the Wemol system. Does he control it? Probably not. No. Void controlled it. He didn't get it. Could have. Void started here, by the way, so... And Eaton started here. So, a little bit tricky to get for him. Although this guy did go the other way. Like, he had incentives to go this way. So, there we go. Pro streamer, you know it. Got my little overlays that don't take long at all to open up. Alright, man. That was pretty exciting. So, we've got still... These wars are still raging. The wars have not ended. Let's check the declarations. Will we play longer? I'm going to say 10 more mins. I think a rule to say, like, you can only claim systems that border themselves. So it's like, you take this, okay, that's a claim, you can claim that, then that, then that, then that. You have to claim off another system. I think that's totally reasonable, right? That fixes the problem of trying to just claim one thing. And like, it didn't even work anyway, but it happened a lot in our last game. And it's not that bad. It is a tactical thing to be like, I want to spend the influence to kind of just go for the key strategic points and dissolve your empire. He might not necessarily want your whole, your whole nation. But yeah, I don't know. We'll think about it. Remember, like, that's what my Discord's for, and the Stellaris section of my Discord. If you're in there and you're commenting and you tell us like, hey, I've played with this or whatever, or I suggest these rules, we'll go with them. We had an idea for rules that I haven't implemented that might kick in day 2. Because there's no federations allowed in this day. But tomorrow, in day 2, we may allow federations. However, the rule may be that you can only go into a federation if you are in the top, or if you're not in the top quarter of the game. So there should be 12 players. So I'll say if you're in the top 4 players, you cannot go into a federation. That way, everyone below that can kind of band up against the big boys. And whoever's positioned at number 5, I guess, probably has the best chance of getting an alliance. Doing well out of it. But something like that. Because what we were seeing was the 2 best players kind of teaming up with each other. And that really sucked. So that was kind of an idea rule to combat that. We don't need that for today because there's no federations. But if we do have federations, we would need it. I also want to check diplomatic map mode and see, is there any defensive pacts? So the Protectors of Nar have a non-aggression... I'm going to open this up as well. They have a and I'll turn this off. Protectors of Nar have a non-aggression pact with consciousness and the divine mandate. And then it kind of sucks. You actually have to click them, I guess, if you want to see what it is. So let's go like that. And then they have a research agreement here with the exchange. And closed borders. And then down at the 20, they have non-aggression as well. So the exchange have... Okay, nothing too crazy. I'm just wondering if anyone has a defensive alliance, for instance. The Void Guardians. Void Guardians are still at war with the Divine Mandate, and they own a considerable amount of chunk of territory around here. Makes sense. So the war exhaustion here was also for conquering. We should check what was he looking to conquer? So it looked like Void was just looking to conquer Beta Corvi. And I don't know why just the 1. I would have assumed 2 to break out. Yeah, I don't know. He didn't have objectives to do it. He would have denied them an objective, though, if he had done it. That's all he was asking to get, just one system. And now it looks like the Divine Mandate have pushed in and actually taken systems from him. So the Void is losing that war. What happened in the Quenti peace offer? Yeah, sorry, I should check that. So let's check. So the... Oh my god. Oh, not as bad as I thought. Not as bad as I thought. So let's check the declarations. See, they need to declare what they're doing more because I missed stuff. I'll tell them that after this. Maybe they will. So it looks like in the post-war situation for the Alliance versus the League. So the Alliance are the red guys, and then we have the League. So we'll just go regular Empire mode. The League look to have gotten 2 planets and 1 system. Pretty valuable. Whereas it looks like the Empire... Sorry, the Alliance... I really keep calling them Empire because they used to be called Empire in my head. The Alliance are the red guys. The Alliance lost 2 planets to the League, and that seems to be it. They didn't lose any systems. And if we were to check them out, they're back stable. Their economy is now stable. Obviously, they're severely hurt. It would do them well to kind of form an alliance with the Selenadra, I would think. And they could do that, I would imagine. Although they have closed their borders to them. I don't know why. I don't think they're opposing governments or anything. So what are they? Militarist, authoritarian, spiritualist. And then if we look at the Selenadra, here, they're all the way down here. Selenadra are also militarist, xenophobes, and egalitarian. They're not so xenophobic, though, that they can't open their borders, though, I think. So I don't know why they've kind of shuttered each other like that, but they could definitely do with helping each other out. They're both kind of weak. Maybe we'll see a pact form tomorrow. The Selenadra, by the way, I didn't even know, because nobody said it, are at war with the Free People of Mother. The Free People of Mother, for those who can't remember or don't know, are the kind of flamboyant, peaceful, tree-hugging nation that basically have goals to set up paradise worlds and resort worlds and things like that. It looks like the Free People are getting the better of it. And if we have a look at who the aggressor is and what's the deal, the goal is to humiliate, and that's for the from the Free People's perspective. From the Selenadra's perspective, it was to conquer, and they wanted to take 3 systems. They wanted Veldun badly because it was part of their objectives to take it. Had they taken Veldun, they would have gotten... Let's have a look. Had they taken Veldun, they would have gotten 5,000 alloys and 2,500 energy. But it looks like they're not going to be able to do that. At least not in the amount of time we have left. And then the objectives are all going to change tomorrow. And we'll see who completed what. I think we'll have to wrap it up. Hey, Holland, I'm tempted to play Stellaris again to join this game sometime. We'll be doing another one next month. Noobs, welcome. If you're not very good or not very used to the game, or even if you are, I could just kind of give you a nation that's a little bit more protected. Like Dan. Dan is still alive because we put him somewhere where no one else is for now. And God bless him. 30 years in the game, he's got 2 planets. And not very many systems. We'll have to see how much of it he completed. Okay, so we'll be back tomorrow. I think we're going to have to wrap it there. So, a lot of wars happening. It's really hard to keep track of stuff. I'm going to improve my ability to put up the objectives quickly and improve the kind of numbering system I have so that I can just quickly find them instead of having to look through a folder every time. But yeah, that's where we're at. So, quite successful in the end. Unfortunate for that first hour that we had to redo it because of the crash, but I guess it was just a version incompatibility bug. Although, as Saishi Gaming was saying, they were getting the bug even in vanilla on their own, so it's really just a bug even that we didn't account for. Apparently this race, having just all-out negative traits is not a good idea, even though you can do it in the game. But why would I guess no one tests for that, right? It's like, why would you do that? Or it just slipped through somehow. Alright, we'll have to pause it there. I'll just wait. Yeah, we'll just leave it there. Boom. Okay, that's it for today. will resume tomorrow, and the rewards will be given out and new objectives assigned. GG, and thank you. And thank you for everyone sticking through the issues. All right, let's save it there. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, we'll be back tomorrow to continue this. I'll try improve it as we go, because this is obviously almost like a test run. First time doing a narrative game. Ha, Swarm Lives Matter. Rip Swarm, Cobainifar. I'm so sorry, but one player is out already. We're down to 11 players. Hey, it's me, Darren, from the future. I'm looking back at the end of the day one save here, just to kind of give you a kind of recap of what had happened. So we had a few wars, had some borders pushing up against each other, although, of course, we were 2 hours shorter than we anticipated being, so not all objectives could really be completed within that time frame, although I think a fair amount happened. We had the Khandian nation completely destroy the Norilga Swarm and change their name from refugees to nation. We have a few other wars go on up here. The League had finally started fighting the Alliance, and they actually won and took a couple territories, took a couple planets as well, and stuff like that. We had a war between the Void Guardian and Divine Mandate. I don't think we've yet seen how that ends, so I won't spoil it. We have the Free People of Mother that were also called into a war just right at the end, and that stuff will all be kind of picked up in the morning on the next video in day 2. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember, thumbs up for multiplayer videos like this and organizing these games for you guys to play. Like I said, we were cut a little bit short, so there's a lot of empty space. Typically at the end of day 1, it's usually all filled up. And as well as that, I promise it does get better as well, because I basically learn the observer tools better. I get better at reading the chat, and then we put the announcements down here for you guys to all keep up with and see and direct me to if I do miss them. So it gets better as it goes on. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.